Today I'm going to discuss how to prepare for GATE. What is the preparation strategy for GATE? Okay, so this is exclusive for ECE, for EEE and IN, so you can watch for common portion, not for the entire syllabus. Okay, so I divided these subjects into these groups. So if I'm going to start for the first time, okay, so I'm going to start my preparation for the GATE for the first time. Then which subject I have to select to start. Okay, so my suggestion is, if you ask me which subject I have to start first, okay, so my suggestion is start with max. Okay, so why max? So for max we don't need much background, you know. We already have come across this max subject at our intermediate level. Okay, so we already have done some good stuff in our intermediate level or in our graduate level. You know, we don't need much background. Okay, we don't have, any resistance to dwell into the subject. Okay, so suppose if I start some other subject, like what if I start EDC first? You know, so so there is a lot of resistance, to start this subject. Okay. So EDC, you need some background, at least some semiconductors physics background needed. Uh, so there is always a great resistance to start this subject, EDC, electronic device and circuits. You can't easily dwell into the subject. Okay. So my recommendation is first go through the max. So um, not only this, one more advantage is there if you start this max subject first, that is the speed. Okay, the speed of preparation will be increased definitely, because so if you start this max, so you will get a flow. You can you can easily go into the track. Okay, so you will get a free flow. Okay, that will definitely increase the your speed of preparation, and that is definitely affect on your next subjects also, because the flow will continue. Okay, so my suggestion is start with max. Okay, that is the biggest suggestion that I can give here. And the next subject I'm going to suggest you is this one, networks. Okay, this networks also is like a mathematics subject only. The all you need is just KCL and KVL. Okay, all you need is just KCL and KVL. That's it. Okay, so this is also an easy subject. This is also useful for our analog circuits. So start this subject immediately after the max. Okay, for these two subjects you don't need much background. Okay, so that is why I recommended these two subjects first. And the next 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you have 5 blocks. You can switch them from whichever position to whichever position. The next I have 5 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, but which block I have to select? Okay, it completely depends on you. So which subjects you feel easy, that depends on you. Okay, uh, some persons will feel this third block. Okay, this third block, what are the contents in third block? Control systems, EMTL and digital circuit. Some feel this third block is easy, and some feel the second easy, some feel this fourth is easy. Okay, so we want to start uh, second block. So I prefer second block because I'm a guy. I'm doing. I'm taking communication and signal processing. I love this subject, so that's why I have put the second block in second position. Okay, so it is your wish. So you can swap all these things, all these blocks, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so coming to the second block, and I also written them in order. Okay, the first one is signals. So don't go through the communication systems directly. First go through the signals and systems, because your communication subject need a tool. What is the tool? Your Fourier transform. Okay, your continuous time Fourier transform and discrete time Fourier transform, both are needed to analyze the signals. Okay, so with that, first you complete the signals and systems part, and immediately you start your communications. Okay, so that will definitely helpful for you. Next, coming to third block. Okay, this is my order. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, coming to third block. In third block, these three subjects, I haven't put any order for these three subjects. Okay, control system, CMTL, and digital electronics. I haven't put any order for them. Why? Because these three subjects are independent subjects. You can start any subject here. Okay, so I prefer so I start EMTL. The next control systems. This is my preference. Okay, it is your wish. And next digital circuits. This is my preference. Okay, you can start any subject here because they are not depending on one another. And coming to fourth block, uh, here I have put some order 1, 2. Okay, so EDC first, next analog. Okay, why EDC first? Because EDC contain the physics, the background of the devices. So what are your devices in your syllabus? Your PN junction diode, your BJT, or MOSFET, or photodiodes, solar cells, whatever, all the electronic devices. So the background of the physics and the current and voltage relationships of these devices will be derived in this subject DDC. Okay, electronic device and circuits. So you will learn the devices parts, the concepts of devices exclusively in this subject EDC. But in the analog case, what you need is, for analog circuits you need two subjects. One is networks, this is KCL, KVL. So you need to write KCL and KVL every time in analog circuits. Okay, and in the analog circuits, these circuits contain these devices. Okay, these electronic devices like PN junction diode, or BJTs, or SWETs. Okay, so to analyze these circuits, we need the background concepts of these devices. So that's why I have put an order here. Okay, so first EDC, next analog circuits. Yeah, and coming to fifth block, aptitude and English. Okay, so I cannot discuss much on this because um, in the exam you're getting simple questions. So you don't need to prepare that much hard for this subject, aptitude and English. You're getting simple questions. Okay, so but you cannot neglect this aptitude and English because it carries 15 marks. Okay, so I will give you average marks at the end. but you can search in the internet, you can easily get average marks weightages for each subject. So you cannot neglect the subject aptitude and English. They are covering 15 marks. Okay. So in this slide, what I have discussed is, so which subject I have to start first. That is what I discussed. Okay. So in this slide, my entire suggestion is max first. Okay. This is my suggestion. This is the summary of the first slide. Okay. So I jump into next slide. So after selecting the subjects that you are going to prepare and you are going to start, so how to prepare? Okay. So I'm assuming that you already have taken coaching in some institutes, or or at least you already have some material in your hand to study. Okay. I'm assuming that. Okay. So for that, so first you go through the lecture notes. Okay. So suppose you have started max. Okay. First you go through the lecture notes of the max subject. Okay. And for each topic, solve all the previous year problems, or at least last 10 years problems. And I recommend to solve all the previous problems. Okay. And this is the first phase. Okay. This is first phase. This looks simple, and it is not that simple. This is the most time consuming part of your preparation strategy. Okay. Because you are preparing for the first time. So this takes so much time. This is the most time consuming part. Okay. Once you complete this, the things become very easy. Okay. So after doing all the subjects, okay, this after executing this block, this first block for all subjects, okay, lecture notes and previous year gate problems. Do this for all the subjects. After doing this, the next block is prepare a short notes. Okay, so don't prepare the short notes while executing this first block. Okay, while reading. So in the first block, what you're doing, so you're reading the lecture notes and you're solving the problems. So if you prepare your short notes at the time of your reading, so you what you do is you always try to put everything in your short notes. Whatever the things in the lecture notes, you try to put all of them in the this short notes. Okay, so this will become another lecture notes for you. It will in nowhere it is a short notes. Okay, so what does a short notes mean? Eh, at least in our short notes, at least each line each line mimic one concept in our lecture notes. Okay, so if you read a line in our short notes, it will mimic a concept in your lecture notes. That is how you have to prepare the short notes. Next, after preparing the short notes, okay, so why I have recommended this after this blog means, so if you read the concepts and if you solve the all previous year gate problems, then you come to know that, so which area you're feeling difficult. Okay, which concepts I need to repeat, yeah, I need to revise more and more. So which concepts I don't need to revise at all. So you'll come to those points after completion of this first block. Okay, so after completion of this first block, you can start your preparation of short notes. Okay, so you have some experience here, but this first block, okay, So to execute this first block, it will take much time. Okay, so most of 70% of your time will be consuming here, first block. Okay, because we have so much starting troubles. Okay, so when we start our subjects, uh, um, we have so much resistance to dwell into these subjects. Okay, so to overcome the subject, we need to repeatedly study. We need to repeatedly mm, uh, study the lecture notes, and we need to clear out doubts with our friends and the lectures. Okay, so for that, it will take so much time. So after the second block, so you have prepared short notes in the second block. After this second block, the third block is test series, either ACE or made easy or both. My recommendation is go for both. Okay, go for both. So I recommend uh, the mock test. Okay, so whatever the mock test they give you, try to attempt all the mock tests of ACE and made easy. Okay, all the mock tests. Where then you will get to know that where you are feeling uh, the concepts difficult. Okay, after doing all this stuff, yeah, next the revision of concepts and difficulty problems you encountered while preparation. Okay, revision of concepts. So how to revise? Okay, so for that this second block will help you. Okay, this second block to revise short notes. So if you start revision, don't go through the lecture notes again. It will take so much time, okay, to complete the lecture notes. So for that, you have your own short notes. So start your revision with the short notes. Okay, and revision of concepts. Okay, you will get concepts from your notes, short notes, but some difficulty problems you encountered while preparation. From where you get these questions again, or while preparation of this uh, first block. Okay, you have to track record of some difficulty problems that you encountered. Okay, you have to maintain a record for those problems. Okay, whichever the problems you feel difficult, so you keep track them. Then at the revision point of time, you have to revise those problems also, not only the concepts, you have to revise the problems also, whichever the problems you feel difficult. Okay, so this is the fourth block. Okay, after revising the concepts and the difficulty problems you encountered, so the next block is the fifth block. More focus on areas from which the questions are coming frequently. Okay, so how do you know in which area of my subject the most questions are coming? Okay, so okay, I will discuss subject wise for ECE. Okay, so in which area most of the questions are coming, and uh, in which area the gate is trying to focus more. Okay, so for that I shall discuss these things subject wise for ECE, but for EE and IN you can watch this for common portion, not for your entire syllabus. Okay, uh, next after the sixth, next seventh, try to solve these questions repeatedly. Okay, so the 6 and 7 are same only, so you have to focus on these areas. Okay, where the questions are coming frequently, and the problems related to those concepts, those areas. You have to solve them repeatedly. Okay, so this is the preparation strategy. I'm summarizing this slide. So first block is lecture notes and previous year gate problems. This will take most of your time, at least 70% of your time this block will take. Okay, next, the second, prepare short notes. It won't take that much time. Okay, so I can't give a percentage for this short notes, so it depends on you. How many subjects you are feeling difficult in those subjects, um, how much percentage of the concepts you are feeling difficult. Okay, so it depends on you. So the preparation of short notes and the test series Ace and made easy. Okay, so you probably start at the end of the your preparation most of the time, but that you don't do that. Okay, so at the end you have to take care of this revision concepts. Okay, so you have to complete these things in between. So Ace and made easy test series, complete this next, and then the revision of concepts and difficult problems you encounter. Okay, if, these problems may be from your previous gate problems or from your test series of Ace and made easy. Okay, after fifth, next is sixth, more focus on areas from which the questions are coming. You solve these questions repeatedly. Okay, so this is my preparation strategy, and depends on you. Okay, you don't need to follow my preferences or my order only. Okay, so you also have your own strategy. The next slide, my order in which I prepared for GATE 2020. Okay, this is my order. Okay, so this is my order. I prepared these two subjects first. The next one is third subject EMTL. The third one is EMTL, and fourth I have put these into one block: signals and systems, control systems, and communication systems. Next, yes, digital circuits part, and then EDC and analog, and then aptitude. Okay, this was my order which I prepared for GATE 2020. Okay, so I have put this EMTL subject at the top. Okay, this one. Why? Because I feel it is very easy subject. Okay, for me. So some of you feel this is difficult subject, but I will discuss this. So I will discuss the relation between, not the great relation. So how the questions are coming. These two. Okay. So this digital circuits and EMTL. I'll discuss how the concepts are covering, how the questions are coming in GATE from these two subjects. Okay, we'll discuss at the end. So this is my preparation strategy. I can suggest you. It is, and you, it is your wish. It depends on you which subject you feel easy. That you have to start. But I strongly recommend this first block. Start with this first subject, first block, maths and networks. Okay. Next. So in this block, more focus on areas from which the questions coming repeatedly. That I am going to discuss subject wise for ECE. Okay. So This is EDC analog in the first slide, and the next slide signals and communications. The next slide control systems and Macs. And the last slide digital circuits and EMTL. Okay, so I'm going to start EDC and analog circuits. So which area we have to focus more? Okay, this one. So in EDC, energy band diagrams. Okay, try to draw energy band diagrams from the first topic to last topic. Okay, so what is the first topic? Semiconductor physics. Okay, try to draw all the energy band diagrams. Try to label everything in the energy band diagram. Okay, and energy band diagrams in BJT. Most of the people forget to draw energy band diagrams in BJT, in all modes of operation. Okay, so you have four operations: cutoff mode, uh, forward active mode, reverse active mode, saturation mode. Okay, for these all modes of operations, you have to draw energy band diagrams also. Okay, in that and not only energy band diagrams, you have to draw the charge concentrations. Okay, so how the I mean minority carrier charge concentrations. Okay, so how these minority carrier concentrations vary in emitter and your base and your collector. How these are varying. You have to draw graph for that those also. Okay, so where the people uh, uh, not focusing while preparation, from there the questions are coming. Okay, so that is the observation I made. And the next is very important topic, which is mass capacitor. So you have to learn everything in the mass capacitor. Okay, everything means from the starting basic structure to these all modes of operation. What are all modes of operations? There is accumulation mode, depletion mode, weak inversion mode, strong inversion mode, and you derive all the formulae in the mass capacitor. Okay, if you derive, then only you can solve the problem. Okay, that is the procedure of solving the problem. The procedure to solve a problem always lies in the derivation. Okay, that is why I recommend try to derive all the equations in the mass capacitor. Okay, and in the mass capacitor energy band diagram is very important. Energy band diagram. So from the energy band diagrams, sometimes you need to find out the surface potentials or energy gaps, other things, whatever, and the threshold voltage equation. Okay, so you cannot skip anything in the mass capacitor. Everything is needed from mass capacitor because nowadays at least two questions are coming from mass capacitor. Okay, uh, one one for 2 marks and one for 1 mark. So at least three questions we are getting every year from mass capacitor. So you cannot neglect this mass capacitor. The next focused area is optoelectronic devices like solar cell, photoconductor, photodiode, LED, laser. These optoelectronic devices. The most focus is this solar cell. Okay. So in solar cell we have a relation between fill factor, efficiency, maximum power. So you concentrate on solar cell part. Okay, open circuit voltage, short circuit current. This is maximum power you get open circuit voltage into short circuit current, and there is a relation between this efficiency and fill factor and the maximum power. So you try to solve more problems on solar cell. On photoconductor, you have a relation of wavelength versus responsivity. So this entire part you have to focus. Go through it once and try to solve more and more problems. A very easy topic. And the next one, analog circuits. So this is a huge subject. Okay, analog circuits. So for this subject, I recommend, so anyway you solve you solve all the problems and you read all the concepts, but I recommend the most focused area. This is the Zener diode. So the voltage regulation circuits of Zener diode. Okay, and these two types are there: load regulation and line regulation. These two types you need to be perfect with this Zener diode. Next, so diodes with capacitor circuits like clampers. Okay, so not just doing the problems from this diodes capacitor circuits needed, you have to analyze the circuit. Okay, that is important. So whatever the problem comes, you have to analyze this diode plus capacitor circuits. Remaining circuits you can easily analyze. If the diodes and resistors are there, you can easily analyze. But if the capacitors and the diodes are there, then you feel little difficult. But we keep revise these things, diodes and capacitor circuits. Okay. Next, an op amp, imperfect op amp. So you go through this concept of imperfect op amp. Okay, where imperfect means imperfect in input bias current or imperfect in output offset voltage. There are some concepts. This imperfect in gain, infinity gain. There are some concepts and imperfect op amp. You go through them once. And one more, this open loop gain, this closed loop gain into closed loop bandwidth equal to open loop gain into open loop bandwidth, that equal to unity gain bandwidth. Okay, so this is the open loop transfer function, closed loop transfer function of op amp. Okay, this is also needed. We always try to skip this part in op amp. That is not acceptable. You have to prepare the frequency response of op amp. Okay, and some positive feedback applications are there, like schematic trigger or triangular wave generator, these waveform generators. Okay, the multi vibrators, these things are there. So for those, you don't need to remember the formula. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to be perfect with the procedure. Okay, so that is analysis. You have to analyze the any circuit. Okay, so what we do in positive feedback application, we try to put output. The output is always plus or minus V shot. We first put plus V shot and what we are getting. We observe what we are getting. And then we put negative minus V shot and we observe the circuit. Okay, so the procedure is important. Okay, not the formula. And the next slide. The next slide is signals and systems. So this is a very easy subject. You can score out of marks. So this more focused area is this one, identifying the system. So what type of system it is? They will give you an input and output relations. They will ask you what kind of system it is. For example, sum y of t equal to integral of minus infinity to 2 x of t minus 2 dt. Okay, they will give you this kind of questions. So what kind of system it is? Is it linear? Is it time invariant or time variant? Is it stable or unstable? All those questions will come. Okay, so identifying the system. So more frequently asking question, identifying the system. Next, the Fourier series. So this exponential Fourier series quotient Ck will not change in time scaling x of at. Okay, so this is I'm not saying that you don't need to study anything from Fourier series. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is this is more focused uh, area. So on scaling, this exponential Fourier series coefficient will not going to change. Okay, only the time period will be changed. Let us say time period t dash equal to the initial time period by a. The frequency will be multiplied f into a. Okay, that is from Fourier series. And the Fourier transform, rectangular, triangular, sinc, and a sinc square. So you have to be perfect with these four signals. Okay, you have to be perfect with these things. They will be coming in everywhere. Okay, like in communication signals, digital signal process, wherever you will find these kind of signals everywhere, because you will find these kind of signals everywhere in communications. Okay, so we are also focusing more on these type of signals only, rectangular, triangular, sinc, and sinc square. And the most important topic in signals and system is sampling. Okay, so try to derive everything in sampling. Okay, so what are the steps are there? So those steps you have to derive everything. I already have uploaded sampling in digital signal processing playlist. You can watch this. Okay, so you also need to derive this formula, and you have to feel it. Okay, so how the frequency replicas are coming. Okay, and there is a relation between your continuous time Fourier transform and discrete time Fourier transform while doing your sampling. Okay, so that is also important. And some cutoff frequency of low pass filter, they will ask some cutoff frequency of low pass filter while reconstructing the signal. Okay, so all these things I also covered and uploaded. You can watch for sampling. And the communication systems. So analog communications is a little bit easy. In fact, it is very easy, analog communications. So, but in digital communications, everybody will feel difficult because you want to prepare these random variables and random processors first, and you try to jump into the digital communications without preparation of this random variables and random processor. That is why everybody feels difficult. So first cover each and everything in random variables and random processes. So with a clear understanding, that is important. Random variables and random process. So please try to put your most of the time in random variables and random processes rather in analog communication, digital communication. Okay, you spend more time on this, and then you jump into your digital circuits, digital communications. Okay, then you will feel the subject is easy. Why? Because in the most of the questions are coming from this digital receiver where MAP ML detections, okay, maximum posterior and maximum likelihood detection. So there they are asking the probability of error. So with these kind of problems, you need this random variables and random process concepts. Okay. In the next slide, after the communication, the control systems. In this, the first part, that time response analysis. So we derived the step response of underdamped system for unit step input u of t. Okay, but what if I apply k times u of t? Okay, you need to go through this once. What are the changes you get? Okay, mostly you won't get any change in any specifications, but only one specification will change, that is the maximum peak overshoot. Maximum peak overshoot will be k times initial maximum peak overshoot when we apply only step input. Okay. But percentage will not change. Percentage of maximum peak overshoot will not change, but only maximum peak overshoot will change. Okay, that you keep in your mind. And then the Nyquist plot. So if I give you any open transfer function, you can easily draw a Nyquist plot for this. But they are not asking this type of questions nowadays. They are asking the background of this Nyquist plot. Okay, so try to derive that n equal to p minus z. You know, n equal to p minus. So try to derive n equal to p minus z. Okay, where n equal to number of circulations about the critical point, that equal to number of open loop poles present in right side of S plane, and Z is number of closed loop poles present in right side of the S plane. Okay, so try to derive this formula. Okay, the background concept is needed for Nyquist plot. So the questions are coming from that background concept. So you try to work out on that. Really work out on that. Okay, that is needed. Next, the state space. So after preparing all the concepts from the control systems, um, we, we feel we have tired. Okay, and then we neglect this state space subject, but every year we are getting 2 marks question. Okay, so don't neglect the state space. Very important thing is the state space subject. Don't neglect. State space means entire state space part. You need to revise, because we usually neglect this state space concept, but the questions are coming. Okay, you cannot neglect. And the next, max. Again, the next one is max. Okay, so we already started our preparation from max, so we cannot skip. We do not skip anything in max, but probably we used to skip this topic, vector spaces. But nowadays more focus is on vector spaces, like this: the linear independence, spanning set, basis, dimension. Okay. Anyway, we learn eigenvectors, but there is a relation between these vector spaces and eigenvectors. That relation you must have known. Okay, so you cannot skip this topic. This is very important topic. Every time you are getting 2 marks question from vector spaces. Okay, so you can see the previous year gate questions. Okay, you cannot skip this vector spaces. Very important. Okay, from linear algebra you are getting two minimum 2 to 3 marks, sometimes 4 marks from linear algebra part. Okay, so if you start max, you start this linear algebra first if possible. Next, coming to these two subjects, there is a relation. I already told you at the beginning what is that relation is. Digital circuits. So we feel this subject is easy. Okay, but the questions coming in the gate are not easy. Okay, that I have observed. So from where the difficulty questions are coming, this part, setup time, hold time, and critical path delay, sequential circuits. Okay, try to find out a mod of the circuit, mod of the counter. Okay, there some confusions are there. You try to overcome those confusions. And the CMOS implementation is also very important. We always try to neglect these two topics, but we cannot. Every time we are getting one question from each of this, from this part and this part. Okay, so we cannot neglect. So the next subject is the EMTL. In fact, this is the last one. So what about this subject? We feel this subject is difficult. Okay, but the questions coming are very easy. That is my observation. Very easy. Okay. So if you watch your previous grade questions, you know, so last year they have asked, you know, just Maxwell equations. Okay? Del dot D bar equal to V, del dot B bar equal to 0. This kind of questions they are asking. Okay. So please go through the subject once. EMTL. This is very easy subject for me. Okay. If you follow easily, if you follow anyway, I will discuss this subject EMTL. I will discuss each and every subject. But EMTL is my favorite subject. Okay. This is very easy subject. Okay, you can score out of from this subject EMTL. And if you prepare EMTL, after preparation, where we neglect things is Smith chart and antennas. Okay, you cannot neglect. Okay, Smith chart. Sometimes they will give you, sometimes they will not give you questions from this Smith chart, but be ready if the questions come. Okay, so you cannot neglect. And the Smith chart is, uh, it is not a circular plot. Okay, it is a rectangular plot. So on y-axis you have gamma imaginary. On x-axis you have gamma real. Okay, the reflection coefficient. So this is the graph for gamma reflection, imaginary part of the reflection coefficient to real part of the reflection coefficient. Okay, so it is not a circular plot, it is a rectangular plot. Okay, and try to derive all the formulae, all the things, all the circles, how they come, try to derive those. Okay, so then only you get to understand the Smith chart properly. Okay, so you cannot neglect the Smith chart. And the next one is antennas. This also, every time we are getting one question. Every time. You can observe from your previous gate questions. Every time you are getting one question. Mostly that is 2 marks question. Okay. So you cannot neglect this topic. We usually neglect these two topics after studying this EMTL subject rigorously. So we felt very tired of this EMTL subject. At the last, we start Smith chart and antennas. It is not possible to. So at last, we feel that these two parts, the Smith chart and antennas, are not at all related to the EMTL subject. Okay? So then we will neglect. So don't neglect. That is my suggestion. People are concentrating. Okay, on these two topics. So every time we are getting questions means we cannot neglect, man. So these are the suggestions that I can give you. Okay. Yes. After all doing this, uh, I want to give you one more suggestion that may be a biggest suggestion I can give you. Okay, so what is that? After all this, the one more suggestion that I want to give you, so that is this is maybe going to be the biggest suggestion. Okay, so what is that? So while preparation for any competitive while preparation for any competitive exam, you should not do research. You cannot do research, man, while preparation. Okay, so that will take uh, more large amount of time. Okay, so I know while preparation, while studying for the first time, we will get so many doubts in our mind. Okay, I know, but you have to move on. Okay, otherwise you will be stuck at somewhere and you cannot move. So so that those things are because of this kind of thinking, the research is thinking. Okay, so but don't do research while preparation. So if you really want to do research, first try to crack GATE and then join in IITs or ISRO's, BARC, wherever. So their actual research work is going on. Okay, while preparation, you can't do any research. Okay, that will not helpful for you. Okay, so please try to discuss the concepts with your friends. Okay, that will be helpful for you and your friends also. So if you discuss the subject with your friends, then only you will understand the things clearly. Okay, so when will you know that yeah, I'm understanding this concept? So if you understand the concept clearly, you can explain the concept to your friend easily so that your friend can understand your concept. Okay, so that is the realization of understanding the concept. Anyway, this is my biggest suggestion. While preparation, don't do research. Okay, after cracking the gate, join in IIT or join in ISRO or BAR. You do your research there. Okay, so if you do research at the um, preparation, that won't helpful for you. Okay, okay, thank you.